It might be the toughest ticket to get in the state of Louisiana, and whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, LSU fans never miss a baseball game. It's one of the great venues in college sports, featuring some of the greatest fans and one of college baseball's finest programs. Welcome to Alex Box Stadium, home of the LSU Tigers, who look to sweep their Super Regional Series with the Texas A&M Aggies and move on to Omaha for the College World Series. The wind is picking up, blowing out to left field. Temperature 90 degrees. Very hot and humid today in Baton Rouge. LSU take game one of the series last night 11-8, but it did not look good early for the Tigers. LSU defensive lapses led to 5 unearned runs. But the Bayou Bashers were up to the test. All 9 starters recorded at least 1 hit in an 11-run outburst. And the Tiger relievers were stellar. Jason Detterman and Jordan Faircloth shut down A&M and have a chance to close it out tonight. And Mark Johnson, the head coach for A&M, will throw Zach Jackson, first-round draft pick.
Left-hander Zach Jackson is a transfer from Louisville University. In his 2 years there, he was 3rd in wins career at Louisville. Comes over this year and has a stellar year, all Big 12. There you see the record 10-6. He's going to run it up there. That's why he was a first-rounder. Good fastball. What they need, and I talked to pitching coach Jim Lawler before the game, is him to work both sides of the plate with a fastball. His changeup is probably his 2nd pitch. Curveball is probably his 3rd pitch, and they need a big one out of him tonight. You win this one, get to an all-or-nothing game 3 tomorrow. That's what the Aggies are hoping for.
Kyle Hill be going up against a lineup that pounded out 17 hits yesterday. J.C. Holt had a couple of hits and 3 RBI. Patterson a home run yesterday. Zarang a 2nd-round draft pick. Will Harris batting in the 8th hole today, the leading hitter in the postseason for LSU. Holt batting .395 on the season. He has been spectacular as a leadoff hitter for the LSU Tigers. In fact, yesterday, right on the heels of A&M scoring 5 runs in the top of the first, Holt, the 3rd-round draft pick of the Braves, comes up and drills one out of the park on the first pitch.
Yeah, the guy not really known for his power. I mean, he's kind of a hit at both sides, can really run 20 stolen bases on the season, but it was really emotionally what that ball club needed, gave him a little boost. They then went on to retake the lead, now obviously take game 1.
Fishing and hunting, a hobby that many LSU players enjoy. More on that later. Holt, a junior from Louisiana, lays down a bunt. Boggs charging, and a good throw retires Holt to lead off the game.
Nice play here by the freshman 3rd baseman Austin Boggs. He lead it up with a home run last night, lay a bunt down the following night. Watch him charge barehand. The only chance he has to make that play is to barehand it, and that is a freshman. Up and throwing there, and a nice start for the Aggies.
Boggs, the son of Tommy Boggs, who played in both the Braves and Rangers organizations. First pitch to Ryan Patterson is a strike. Patterson, a .345 hitter, 14 home runs, 64 RBI. The 0-1. A little low and inside. 3 for 5 last night. Home run, 3 RBI, 2 runs scored for Patterson yesterday.
Just missed another home run, too. 2 identical shots to right center. One went out, the other missed by going out by about 3 feet.
Sends the 1-1 pitch the other way, but foul. Very good at hitting to the opposite field, and you just talked about that. Both of those long balls yesterday in the gap in right center.
Impressive offensive ball club from top to bottom here in Baton Rouge. 9-hole hitter today is Blake Gill. We will see him later. He hit 3rd for them in the regional and was the regional MVP.
1-2 pitch to Patterson. Fisted to short. Pennington, 2 down in the first. Cliff Pennington, a sophomore from Corpus Christi, records the out. Favorite player is Craig Biggio. Another full house here at Alex Box Stadium on the campus of Louisiana State University. Matt Liuzza batting in the 3-hole, the starting catcher, wearing number 14, and takes strike 1 from Jackson. A couple of hits yesterday, a run scored. Last year in the Super Regional against Baylor, hit .615. Did well in the College World Series, going 2 out of 6. LSU has been to the College World Series 12 times. A&M has been there 4 times. What do you think of Jackson so far?
Pounding the strikes in with that fastball. And that's the one thing they said that he needs in order to be effective. He has worked both sides of the plate, busted Patterson in when he had with 2 strikes last time, and 2 fastballs in the outer half here to Liuza.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The offering. Liuza stays alive. Jackson, a first-round draft pick of the Toronto Blue Jays, 32nd overall. Started out his college career at Louisville. Was a freshman All-American, but then decided to transfer to Texas A&M. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, that actually caught Liuza, so a hit by pitch, and he'll take first.
See a breaking ball, just get away from him, clip him right on that back foot. Barely hits him, but that's all it takes, just enough. Liuza not in any hurry to get out of the way. Again, we talked about this a little bit last night. You're going to see a lot more guys get hit in college baseball than you would in professional baseball. That ball's inside. More of them will lean into it than you usually see in professional baseball.
Here's a great matchup. First-round draft pick Zach Jackson against second-round draft choice John Zarang. 56th overall pick, taken by the Arizona Diamondbacks. SEC Co-Player of the Year. Had an excellent game 1. Led the SEC in conference games in batting average, hitting .432 as an 0-2 count. And Kyle, when you consider all the teams still playing in the Super Regional and now going to the College World Series from the SEC, to hit .432 in that league is pretty special.
Oh no, it's outstanding. I mean, you almost can't talk enough about the offense of this LSU team. As Zarang is probably their leader. Hold at the top is kind of their fire plug. Zarang is probably their leader.
The 0-2, drilled foul. Jackson took something off of that pitch. Zarang .389 average, number 2 on LSU, number 2 in home runs and RBI, .636 slugging percentage. Has an excellent arm on right field, too.
He's got a cannon in the right. He showed it off a couple times last night.
Jackson has been getting ahead on the count to each batter. Pitch a little bit low. .119 strikeouts and just 26 walks this season for Zach Jackson.
Great stuff. I mean, he had great stuff at Louisville. And a kid that really, until August, didn't know where he was going to go to school this year. Went out to Cape Cod, had a very good summer last year in Cape Cod, but he knew he wanted to transfer. He just didn't know where. Texas A&M was the place, and they are very happy to have him.
Had a perfect game going into the 9th inning in a game against Nebraska earlier this year. 1-2, almost hit Zarang. May have just brushed past his jersey. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last 3 starts, though, Jackson has really struggled a little bit.
Struggled a little bit. I mean, and that's Texas, and Rice in those 3 starts. And so he's faced some very, very good ball clubs. One that's going to Omaha, and another that many thought would. But he has the stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Inside corner, strike 3. So Jackson hits Liuza, but he's left stranded.
Here's that breaking ball. We talked him pounding the fastball in, and he drops a backdoor breaking ball on Zarang and freezes him for strike 3.
Smoke Laval, the head coach for LSU in his 3rd season, spent 10 years as an assistant, won 2 national championships as an assistant at LSU. Mark Johnson, the head coach at Texas A&M in year 20 with the Aggies, American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame member. Johnson, a couple of College World Series appearances. The last time A&M was there, 1999. Beat Clemson in the Super Regional, won that in 3 games, and that's what Texas A&M is going to have to do here. They have to win today to force a Game 3 tomorrow. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Baton Rouge. Alongside former Stanford pitcher and Major League hurler Kyle Peterson, I'm Dave Pash. What are these coaches telling their teams today, Kyle?
I think they're telling them two entirely different things. If you're Coach Mark Johnson, you tell your club, listen, put last night behind you. We jumped on them early to score 5 runs. They came back, win a ball game. It's over with. Now we have to win 2 in a row, and it starts today, and it starts with a good pitching performance from their left-hander. If you're Smoke LaValle, you say, hey, let's finish this thing right now. We don't want to take the chance of going to a third game. We like our chances today, and this is one of the reasons why. Lane Mestepe, who you see had the great years in 2001, 2002. He was all SEC both years. The first pitcher at LSU to win 10 or more games his first 2 years on campus. Then he has the shoulder surgery. Now coming back from that surgery, numbers haven't been quite as good this year, but keep in mind, he was not a power guy before. So, if you're not a power guy and you have shoulder surgery, you come back, stuff might not be as good, but you haven't relied on that fastball maybe as much as others have. So, this is a guy who can still pitch. He's pitched in big ball games, and he's a guy that they like to have out there in this situation.
He'll face a Texas A&M lineup that scored 8 runs yesterday off LSU pitchers. Pennington homered in Game 1. Patton, a 6th-round draft choice. In the bottom of the order, the same as it was last night, Infante, Bartek, and Ruggiano. They went 7 for 13 last night. And Ruggiano, the number 9 hitter, hit a grand slam against Rice last weekend that won the game and got A&M to the Super Regional. Eric Schindewolf, the leadoff hitter. It's rare you see that. More runs than hits.
He did it again last night. 1 run, no hits last night. He can drive you nuts when he gets on base.
Mestepe's first pitch is low, a ball. Senior from Spring, Texas. Was drafted in the 26th round last week by Arizona. They thought he was going to be done for the season earlier this year. Ended up missing just 4 weeks. Broke his hand, and coaching staff thought he was gone. But he has come back. Leads the team in runs and in walks and on-base percentage. Very key player, key cog on this A&M squad. The 2-1. Failed bunt attempt, and it's 2-2.
He had a plate and 6 screws put into his hand and came back 25 days later. That's pretty impressive.
I don't know if I could broadcast 25 days later with...
No, I'd shut it down for at least a couple months.
Just misses the inside corner. LSU wearing the road jerseys, even though, as you can just tell, in case you just tuned in, this is LSU's home ballpark. Alex Box Stadium. And a walk to Schindewolf to lead off the bottom of inning number 1. A&M scored 5 runs yesterday in the top of the first. Sold out crowd in Alex Box Stadium, which set the NCAA total attendance record in 2003. Nearly 300,000 people came to watch college baseball last year as Pennington bounces into a potential double play ball. Nakarada's relay in time. No, he's safe. He is safe.
Ground ball off the bat of Cliff Pennington. He's busting it right down the line right off the bat. Nice turn by Gill over to Nakarada. Throw on to first, and it looks like they had him. Bang, bang play over at first. Kevin Doherty over there. Those are tough to call. I mean, it was definitely a lot closer than I originally thought it was. I'm sure he was out. But that is a bang, bang close play for Kevin Doherty over at first base. The Alex Box faithful letting him know right away.
Kevin Doherty, the first base umpire. Randy Harvey at second base. Dave Buck, the home plate umpire. Scott Graham, who called balls and strikes yesterday, as a third base umpire. And Austin Boggs hits in the 3-hole today. The freshman from Pflugerville, Texas, hit 4th yesterday. Riding a 9-game hitting streak after going 1 out of 5 yesterday. There goes the runner, and the throw is going to be way late, and it gets into right field. Pennington will head into third easily, and a runner at third with a 1 out for an A&M here in the bottom of the first.
Cliff Pennington here is 12th stolen base, gets a very good jump. Tough ball for Liuzza to throw. This one down and away, and ball just gets off of Blake Gill, goes into right field. Pennington up quickly onto third base. They don't try to steal too often on Mestepe, but when they do, they generally get there.
Good play at first base by Will Harris. That would have scored a run easily. Instead, there are 2 down with a runner at third.
Laser off the bat of the freshman Boggs. We saw the great play in the first inning. Now he stays on this ball, rips it to right. Will Harris lays out. We saw him make a great play last night down the line. Another one to save a run here in the first.
So it's up to Corey Patton, drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays last week in the 6th round. He's playing with a stress fracture in that back foot. 1 for 5 yesterday, .332 hitter, led the team in home runs and RBI coming into the Super Regional. 11 around trippers, 67 driven in. Slow bouncer to second base. Nakarada up with it to retire the side. So a runner stranded at third, no runs, no hits. In the bottom of the first for A&M, no score as we go to the second. A combined 6 runs were scored in the first inning of Game 1, but nothing in the first today. Zach Jackson, the starting pitcher for A&M, struck out John Zarangda in the first inning. Struggled against regional teams, although he did have a good outing against Rice last week. 3 runs given up, 9 strikeouts, only 2 walks in 8 innings pitched. We talked about earlier, big reason why that ERA is over 5. 2 rough outings against Texas.
2 rough ones against Texas. Gave up 6 earned runs in one, 4 earned runs in the other. Had an outing against Arkansas earlier this year, 5 earned runs in 5 innings, and 7 earned against Oklahoma in 6 1/3. So a couple rough ones against very good teams this season, but week in and week out in the Big 12, you do face good clubs, whether they go to the regionals or not. One you talked about earlier, Dave, one of his best performance was at Nebraska, a team that did not go to regionals, but he took a perfect game into the 9th inning that night.
Smoke Laval, 3rd year as a head coach at LSU. Spent 10 years as an assistant, then went to Louisiana Monroe, where he was the head coach and coached one of your former teammates, Ben Sheets.
Sheeter. Talked to him about Sheets last night. He said, Sheets didn't like to run too much. Throw at 95, you don't have to run as much.
Well, Smoke's an interesting guy. When he was an assistant here at LSU, Albert Bell and his twin brother Terry were playing for the Tigers. Several years later, they happened to be on the same airplane, and Smoke was sitting about 6 or 7 rows behind Albert and just sat there and threw spitballs at him the entire flight. Stabenow's roller foul. Now, there aren't many people who would even talk to Albert Bell for risk of getting yelled at, and here's Laval throwing spitballs at him on an airplane.
Trying to egg him on. What a good guy. Fun to talk to, loves the game of baseball, loves being here in Baton Rouge too. And he said, I knew when I came back what I was getting into. He said, this is a baseball crazed place, and I like that. They're great fans. They get on you sometimes, but they are extremely supportive, and as you see, they show up in droves.
Stabenow, the designated hitter, .339 average. That one misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stabenow Jr. from Houston, Texas, tied an LSU record in the regional at 3 doubles in 1 game. Went around. 2nd strikeout for Zach Jackson. Back-to-back Ks for the left-hander.
Jackson's been impressive so far. This time he's going to rack a breaking ball right around his feet. Look at this one. Starts middle of plate, down and in. Nothing Stabenow can do. Once he starts that swing, tries to hold up, but goes around just far enough. Zach Jackson impressive so far for the Aggies.
Clay Harris is hitting under 200 in the NCAA tournament. He and his brother Will Harris playing 3rd base and 1st base respectively. Had an RBI last night, couple of hits, hitting right around 300, 7 home runs, 50 RBI on the season. Jackson again getting ahead in the count. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We've really seen him use that breaking ball a lot more today than I thought we would. That was something that the coaching staff says. The breaking ball's probably his 3rd pitch. He's got a very good changeup. Good breaking ball, as you see. He's got a couple strikeouts, but he's really thrown it a lot so far today.
Inside, 2-1. Seen a variety of speeds, too. Some in the low 70s, some in the high 70s, low 80s, high 80s. All right.
Yep, he'll run that fastball. Probably pitch 85 to maybe 90, 91, right in that area.
Jackson's 2-1. Going outside. It's amazing when you think that A&M has gotten to this point, considering that 10 out of the 13 pitchers on their roster last year are gone. 8 of them were drafted, and both Jackson and Jason Meyer, who started Game 1, weren't even on the roster last year. Essentially, Jackson was a transfer, and Meyer was out with an injury. Here they are pitching in Games 1 and 2 of the Super Regional, and Meyer struggled yesterday, but he's had a terrific season, as has Jackson.
Yeah, both of them had great form all year. They lost 40 of 45 wins last year off that Texas A&M pitching staff. And Coach Mark Johnson said, listen, I knew we were going to hit. It's one of the reasons that we got Zach Jackson to come in here. He knew we'd hit. We just didn't know if we'd pitch. These 2 kids have picked him up.
Swing and a miss on a 3-2 pitch. 3 straight strikeouts for Zach Jackson.
Just fastball, busting him inside, runs that fastball in on his hands. It's the ability, when you throw those 2 or 3 pitches for a strike, makes that 88, 89 fastball look even harder, and then pound them in on their hands when you have them looking away. Nice job of pitching there by Jackson.
Junior from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh. Dreams of one day playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, although that's going to have to wait. He was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays.
I would say that's changed.
And he'll likely sign a contract and will go to Auburn, New York, play short season single A to start. Count even at 1-1 to Ivan Nakarada, the number 7 hitter, second baseman. Hit an RBI and a couple of runs scored yesterday.
Just missed a double down the line, too. Ripped the ball down the line.
Here's the 1-1 to the former junior college standout. He joined LSU in January of 2003, was the starting third baseman. They moved him to second this year. And of course, everybody saw the error yesterday on that pop-up, but otherwise he's been terrific at second base on defense.
Solid middle of the infield here for LSU.
It's outside, and it's even again, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That curveball, nice there. Job there by catcher Craig Stinson, a guy that Mark Johnson says thinks has a chance to be a pretty high draft pick by the time he leaves Texas A&M.
He started the last 29 games at catcher, and that's rare for a Mark Johnson team. He likes to alternate his catchers, as that one is drilled into center field, but right at Infante for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for Zach Jackson and the A&M Aggies. Middle of the second, no score in Baton Rouge. All right, guys, and it's been sweeps week in the Super Regionals. Just about everybody sweeping to go to the College World Series. LSU is trying to do the same, but it's going to have to solve Zach Jackson. Meanwhile, Lane Mestape, the LSU starter, worked a good first inning. And he starts out Kobe Mavrilis with ball 1. 47 runs driven in for Mavrilis. Went 0 for 4 with a strikeout in game 1. Inside and low, ball 2. Mavrilis, a sophomore from Abilene, Texas. Missed all of last year. Took a medical red shirt with a back injury. Dave Pash and Kyle Peterson with you from Baton Rouge. It's game 2 of this best-of-3 series. LSU wins, it's off to Omaha. And if Texas A&M wins, we'll play game 3 sometime tomorrow. In the air to center field. Holt moves to his right, makes the catch for out number 1. Not one empty seat at Alex Box Stadium. This thing has been sold out since it was announced on Monday that the Super Regional would be here.
8 years in a row they have led the NCAA in attendance. Texas A&M, too, very impressive, too, with their home Olson Field, top 5 in attendance the last 5 years. So 2 great college programs here.
Grounder to Gill. Makes the throw to Harris for out number 2. Considering that both these teams have terrific history and tradition, they've only met 11 times the last 20 years. But the last 2 meetings have been significant. In 1989, Texas A&M was the number 1 ranked team in the country. LSU won. In 93, in the College World Series they met, A&M was the top seed and LSU won.
It was a good A&M ball club that year, too.
Rounded to short by Infante. Gill's throw, though, bounces to Will Harris, and he can't scoop it. Error number 2 for LSU today.
It's a routine ground ball. Gill up with it easily, and a kind of a tough in-between hop there to Will Harris at first base. Those are the tough ones. The short hops are easier. The long hops, you've got plenty of time. That tweener is what makes it a lot tougher on your first baseman. Almost too much time there if you're a shortstop. You get so much time to think about it. Sometimes you'd rather it be a bang-bang play.
So 1 on, 2 out for Travis Bartek. Milkshake, as he's called. Junior from Sparks, Nevada.
See that career goal? Is to be a pro poker player.
Says he watches a lot of poker on ESPN, ESPN2. Though his favorite sport to play is bowling. So he's a baseball player that wants to be a professional poker player that likes to bowl. Do you see much of a poker face, though?
Locked in. A little peek to first. See a little poker face. You talk to his teammates. This is the one guy that they'll say, you know what? He picks us up in so many different ways. Bartek gets the big hits. The average isn't going to jump out at you. The numbers aren't going to jump out at you. But hit some big hits for him again yesterday and did it all the way through the regional.
Hitting about .450 in the last 11 games. .280 hitter on the year. 3 for 5 yesterday with 3 runs driven in. Had 15 RBI all season long and had 3 yesterday. There goes the runner. The throw is not in time. Gill thought that the throw was there, but Infante is safe at second with a stolen base.
Off and running again, this time Infante. This will be his 11th stolen base of the year. Nice throw here by Liuza, right on it. Let's see if he goes off the base in the end. That's what they were waiting for. Watch Gill hold the tag. I think he got it back just in time. He did come off, and I think the hand got back on the base in time.
Fly ball to center field by Ruggiano. Holt makes the 3rd out. Still no hits. We've played 2 innings in Baton Rouge. We go to the 3rd, no score. Smoke Laval's LSU Tigers committed 2 errors last night and gave up 5 unearned runs. 2 errors so far in this game, but so far those mistakes have not cost LSU.
Well, big pitches from Mestepe. I mean, you know, getting a couple situations that maybe he didn't deserve to be in. Runner on 3rd in the 1st, runner on 2nd there in the 2nd inning, and gets the big out when he needs to. You know, Smoke Laval had talked at length about his shortstop Blake Gill and said, listen, for the last 25 games of the season, this kid was as good as anybody in the middle of the infield. He's had a rough couple nights here. The ball that went through his legs last night, the throwing error today, but I know Smoke Laval still has plenty of confidence in his shortstop.
Gill also playing with a bad ankle, so that could be a big reason why he's struggling in the field.
And they were unsure yesterday as to whether he was going to play. He turned it running down to first base last Sunday in the regional. Said he kind of jumped out towards first base and rolled over on a little bit. So yeah, that could definitely be playing into it when he's out there. He won't tell you that, I'm sure, but guarantee it doesn't feel good.
Will Harris, the younger brother of Clay Harris, who is the 3rd baseman on LSU, will lead off the 3rd for the Tigers against Zach Jackson, who struck out 3 of the 7 hitters he's faced so far in the game. Blowing outside for ball 1. Harris had a couple of hits yesterday and a run batted in. Leads the team in postseason batting average at .429, including the SEC tournament. Two and 0. Jackson has not been behind often, but now a 2-0 count to Will Harris. Jackson pitched 3 shutouts during the regular season. Won 10 games, ERA of 3.5. The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Harris had a big hit last night, driving in the insurance run in the 8th inning to make it 10-8. LSU eventually won game 1, 11-8. Harris bounces this one to short. Pennington with an errant throw. And Harris will go to second base. Third error of this game, first on A&M.
Pennington up again. Kind of takes 2 steps. Almost looked like he didn't have a good handle on this ball. And it sails on him right away. He threw one away last night that allowed LSU to move a runner into scoring position, and does it again tonight. And the tough ones are when it happens with nobody out. Now a runner on second with nobody out, and the hot hitting Blake Gill at the plate.
Mark Johnson said, hey, we scored 8 runs last night. We really did all we could do against the LSU pitchers. He said, if you would have told me before the game 8 runs, I'll give you those, he would have said we get a win.
Yeah.
Wasn't the case, though.
Yep.
He said they have to pitch well, and so far Zach Jackson has. See if he can get out of this mini jam. Right back to Jackson. He's going to go to second. And Pennington will make the throw to Boggs to get the lead runner. And Pennington showed some acrobatics, going up the ladder to keep that one from going into center field for another error.
Tell you what, rough one on the last one, but he makes up for it right here. This throw looks like it's destined for center field. Great job of making the catch, and then he throws a strike over to third base. Austin Boggs has it. Nothing Will Harris can do. And now a runner on first with 1 out. Things looking a little bit better here for the Aggies. Nice job of staying in the ball game there, too. I mean, you throw that ball away, tendency to get a little bit down on yourself. Pennington stays right in it. Nice job of fielding his position there, and gets a big out.
Holt swings and fouls it back. He grounded out to third in his first at bat. .393 average. 7 hits shy of tying the great Brandon Larson for first place on the LSU single season hit list. Drafted to play second base, even though he's currently the center fielder. Played infield his freshman year, then moved to center last year. It's funny, we talked to all these guys about why'd you go to LSU or why did you go to Texas A&M, and J.C. Holt, even though he's been a college baseball fan since he could walk, says it was because of Shaq. He was watching college basketball on ESPN and said, I think I want to go play there.
Where I want to go. So his first trip down here to Alex Box Stadium, he said, I think I was about 8 years old. He used to come down and watch games. Really a versatile guy. We talk about how he had been in the infield, moved to the outfield. Now the Braves will probably move him back to the infield. They've got a good one in this kid. He plays the game right, plays it hard. He can go get it in center field. I'm sure that he's solid on the infield. He's an ideal leadoff hitter for the Tigers.
He's down on the count 0-2 to Jackson. And here's Jackson's pitch. 4th strikeout already for Zach Jackson. And there are 2 down in the LSU third.
There's that breaking ball again. Kind of a slurve, slider, curve combination. Starts in the middle of the plate, breaking away from J.C. Holt. Zach Jackson has them all going so far today. Nice fastball getting ahead of guys, finishing with that breaking ball.
Ryan Patterson stands in, junior from Texas. Will fake over to first. Patterson grounded to Pennington at short, who made a good throw back in the first inning to retire. Again behind to the count. No balls, 1 strike. Had a good super regional last year, had 3 hits, including a home run. Homered in the College World Series, Patterson did last year. 14 home runs this season, including 1 yesterday. Fouls that one away.
He looks like he's really making an effort to take that ball and drive it the other way. We saw him do it last night where he hit the 2 balls in the right center field gap. I like that when I see that in a hitter, because if you can stand that ball away, it's a lot easier to spin on that ball inside.
Another strikeout for Zach Jackson. 2 this inning, 5 in the game. No runs, no hits, 1 error. Still no score. Zach Jackson, 5 Ks already for the Aggies. Dave Pasch alongside former Major Leaguer and Stanford pitcher Kyle Peterson. No score as we go to the bottom of the third in Baton Rouge. Time now for the Home Depot Coaching Clinic.
Here it is, that ground ball back to Zach Jackson. First off, great job of fielding his position. This is what pitchers do when they take all of their PFP. Now, here's the spot right here. The decision is, do I throw the ball to second base or do I run it at the runner, try to freeze him? Makes the throw to second base. Nice job by shortstop to make the play. In that situation, if the runner is continuing on and is kind of in no man's land in between second and third, want to take the ball and run at him. If he commits to one base or another, where in that situation it looked like Harris was committing to third base, then you got to get rid of the ball.
Justin Ruggiano leads off the bottom half of the third for Texas A&M. He was the hero against Rice in the regional. Grand slam in the 8th inning. And A&M prevailed 7-5 to get here. A couple of balls in the dirt by Mestepe, who has a 28-11 career record. The 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Ruggiano was wearing number 21, but he forgot his jersey in the Houston Regional going into that game against Rice as he lines a base hit to center field. I think he'll keep number 46. He left his jersey on the bus, number 21, so they gave him a new jersey, 46. He went out and hit the game-winning grand slam, and I think he'll keep that one forever.
46 is stay. The equipment manager flipped in number 46 and said, here, this one's lucky. Ended up being pretty lucky. Since then, things have worked out just fine. Another hit last night, 1 for 1 to start it off tonight.
How about the bottom of the order for Texas A&M? 7 out of 13 last night. Leadoff single for the number 9 hitter in the third.
You know, it was one of those things when we talked to the coaching staff about Ruggiano's grand slam in that game. They were quick to point out, listen, Stinson, Infante, Bartek all singled to get on base so he could hit that grand slam. They said the bottom half of our order has been great for us in the second half of the year.
A little bit low on an off-speed pitch. So 7 out of 13 for the 7 and 9 hitters, but 1 through 6 not very good, even though A&M scored 8 runs.
No, and one, I tell you what, Pennington had a couple big hits for him last night, a double and a home run. You take those 2 away, and the other 5 have 2 hits. So kind of an all or nothing night last night for the Aggies. It looked very good for him in the first inning, 5 spot in the first, and then the Tigers came storming back.
Pennington is on deck. Schindewolf at the plate. And 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls and a strike. What do you think of Mestepe so far, Kyle?
Well, you know, he's kind of as advertised. You know, he's going to keep the ball down. He's going to work both sides of the play because he doesn't throw hard, so he has to. Down is going to be key to Mestepe. There you see it. 7 stolen bases allowed, and that is in 7 attempts. They're 7-7 on the year. Texas A&M 2-2. And I tell you what, if you're Mark Johnson, bad spot to hit and run here. You got a pretty fast base runner in Ruggiano, 7-9 on the year in stolen bases.
Already 2 stolen bases in this game for Texas A&M. 1 in the first and 1 in the second inning. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Texas A&M leadoff hitter Eric Schindewolf.
Mark Johnson said yesterday, so we're not a ball club that's going to hit it out of the ballpark all that often. We don't have a ton of power, but we play the game right. We move guys around when we have to, and we run the bases well.
Ball 3. And the count is full. Mark Johnson, the head coach, will also serve as the third base coach today for the Aggies.
Now the decision is, do you think that your leadoff batter will make contact? If you think so, you put the guy in motion from first base. If you think there's a chance he's going to strike out, got to be a little bit more weary of letting Ruggiano run.
Schindewolf led the team in strikeouts coming into today, too. 36 Ks on the year. Mestepe's 3-2. There goes the runner. Harris takes the easy out at first, and Ruggiano is in safely at second base. Let's check in with Dave Revson and Tony Gwynn back in Bristol.
Shortstop, Cliff Pennington.
Game 2 of this 3-game series here. LSU trying to close out the Aggies guys, and so far only one hit in this game, and that was by the number 9 hitter for Texas A&M to lead off this inning. We've had 3 errors, more errors than runs and hits combined in just over 2 innings of play. Bennington foul tips that one. Bennington led the team in batting average, second team All Big 12 each of the last 2 years, and the MVP of their regional last week went 10 out of 16 with 5 RBI. To third base, Clay Harris to Will Harris for out number 2. Seen a lot of ground balls so far in this game.
That's what you like, too, on a day when the flags are blowing out to left center. A ballpark here in Alex Box that is known for giving up some home runs. And you've seen a ground ball carry out. Always have a better chance if they're driving into the ground.
First offering to Austin Boggs is in there for a strike. 2 down, runner at second. Boggs 0 for 1 today. His name is Austin. His family lives in Austin. His grandfather went to Texas, was the College World Series MVP 50 years ago. His sister is one of the diamond gals for the Texas Longhorns. But apparently she's not a very good recruiter because he went to Texas A&M.
He's at A&M.
J.L. Smith, his grandfather. I'm sure you're very familiar with that name. Won the College World Series MVP back in 1953,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Quite familiar.
Here's the 0-2 to Boggs. Mestapay gets him swinging his first strikeout of the day. 3 complete in Baton Rouge. Still 0-0. Five of the 8 super regions have already been decided. LSU is trying to go to Omaha. If it can beat Texas A&M here today, the road to Omaha continues after this game with Tulane and Cal State Fullerton. Fullerton knocked off Tulane 9-0 yesterday. So if the Titans win, they will advance to Omaha for the College World Series. That's tonight after our game here on ESPN2. LSU still in search of hit number 1. Zach Jackson has already struck out 5 Tigers.
Been impressive so far. Just a great fastball. He's getting ahead of a lot of guys. Wrap that breaking ball around some righties' feet. Way to those left-handers. We haven't seen a lot of changeups yet. Something we thought we'd see from Jackson. You might see some of those here the second time around this LSU lineup.
The 3, 4, and 5 hitters for LSU this inning: Liuza, Zarang, and Stavenon. Jackson was a 50th round draft pick of the Chicago White Sox back in 2001. How do you, over the course of 3 years, go from being a 50th round pick to being the 32nd overall pick in 2004?
You know, sometimes it's a situation where a kid says, you know what, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to school. There was a couple situations. In fact, Terry Francona's son this year, Nick, was drafted in the 40th round and said, no, listen, I'm going to go to Penn. I'm going to go play at Penn. But the Red Sox drafted him. Drafted him in the 40th round. The kid could end up being a very, very good player when he's at Penn. But every once in a while they do it kind of on a whim. If they can sign you, great. It doesn't cost them a lot that late. And if they can't, no big deal.
6'5" left-hander Zach Jackson. His favorite pitcher is Andy Pettit. Very similar. Two balls and no strikes to Matt Liuza, who was hit by a Jackson pitch in the first inning. Liuza's dad owns a sports bar back in his hometown, Metairie, Louisiana. Guess what it's called?
I would say Liuza's.
Very good.
A win. 2 for 2 today. Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Favorite athlete is Mickey Mantle, and that's odd. Usually when you ask kids who their favorite baseball players, they say, you know, Barry Bonds or Ken Griffey, A-Rod. But Liuza says Mickey Mantle.
Pretty good one. Guy that Turtle Thomas said is born to catch.
Turtle Thomas, the first base coach for LSU.
There's Turtle, recruiting coordinator here at LSU.
The 3-2 pitch. Turtle Thomas started at LSU when Skip Bertman was the head coach here. Bertman won 5 national championships, retired a few years ago. Laval, who was an assistant under Bertman for 10 years, took over, and Bertman's now the athletic director here at LSU.
What a job Skip did here. That's LSU in 1984. Did such a great job of building this program. Recently voted as the #2 college coach in the history of college baseball. And anytime you're #2 and Rod Dedeaux is #1, you'd be pretty happy to be #2. The great Rod Dedeaux from USC.
12 national championships at USC. LSU was second all time with 5. Just think about that disparity. That's how good USC was all those years. Grounder back to the mound. Second time that Jackson has stabbed one before it went in between second and short. 1 down in the 4th. So John Zarang comes to the plate. Junior from Thibodaux, Louisiana. 56th overall selection by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Zarang struck out in the first. The first of 5 Ks by Jackson off the end of the bat to second. And Schindewolf retires Zarang. Skip Bertman, now the AD here. Having a pretty good year, huh? Football team wins a national championship. Women's basketball team had a great year. Track and field won national title.
Softball to the College World Series. Now baseball with a chance. Those 5 national titles in a 10-year span. It got to the point where the LSU faithful, and they still do. We're calling Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha Alex Box North.
Stabenow takes strike 1. He struck out in the second inning. That's a pop in his bat. 8 homers, 42 RBI. 2-time junior college All-American in 2 years at San Jacinto Junior College. 37 homers and 132 RBI. Boggs with a nice play and throw to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down in the 4th. Jackson is still not allowed a hit. 0-0, middle of the 4th. No score here, guys, in Baton Rouge. Won't need those sunglasses much longer. 6 p.m. local time, and it's been overcast for the last hour or so. Still hot and humid. Temperature around 90. Humidity over 50%. Ground ball to lead off the 4th by Patton, and he's retired by Clay Harris.
That is a nice play there by Clay Harris. Ball that you can't charge, you don't have enough time, comes across, cuts it off, takes a kind of in-between hop again, and that's a do or die. You just kind of stab at it. Only chance you have is throw that glove out there. Big first out here.
Clay and Will Harris both have overcome so much. Their mother passed away when they were very young. She was in a car accident. Clay was 8, Will was 6, and their father really hasn't been a part of their lives, so they were raised by their grandparents. First LSU brother combination to start here since the aforementioned Bell boys, Albert and Terry, back in 1987. Ground ball to the other Harris, Will, and he retires Mavericks for out number 2. Harris is getting a lot of airtime here in the 4th.
Harris to Harris.
Mavericks still struggling, now 0 for 6 in the Super Region. So 2 quick outs, and Craig Stinson, the number 6 hitter, the catcher, comes to the plate. He's still looking for his first hit of this series. 0 for 6 so far, 0 for 5, couple of strikeouts yesterday. Rounded to the shortstop Gill in the second inning. And Mestapay is ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Outside ball 1.
Mestapay does such a great job to have pitching within himself. He doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to throw the ball any harder than he does. It's been great so far without the strikeouts.
Lane Mestapay, the son of a firefighter. And so far, Lane hasn't had to put out any fires, only given up just 1 hit so far in this game, although LSU does have 2 errors. The 2-2. Off-speed pitch that just misses, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Had the call earlier through that backdoor breaking ball earlier in the count. Got a called strike. Kind of come back with it and just miss the outside corner.
Into the gap in left center field, a base hit. Rounding first and trying for second is Stinson. He'll reach easily. A 2-out stand-up double for Craig Stinson here in the 4th.
Tried to go back to a breaking ball. 2-2 now comes back with a fastball middle of the plate, and Stinson drills it into left center. J.C. Holt over to cut this ball off, but not quite in time. Stinson rolls into second base with a 2-out double, and the Yankees now have another runner in scoring position.
Stinson named to the second team All Big 12. Hit close to 300 during the regular season, and here's John Infante, who reached on an error in the second inning. Another opportunity for the bottom of the Texas A&M lineup to be productive.
Infante 3 hits yesterday, so been swinging a hot bat.
32 RBI in the year for Infante. Off-speed pitch for a strike. A lot of changeup so far by Mestapay in this inning.
A lot of off-speed pitches. I mean, and that's something that he's done his entire career. When you look back over his numbers his freshman and sophomore years, he had great years. He won 11 ball games each season, but always gave up more hits than innings and never had a lot of strikeouts. He relies on them putting it in play.
Only 40 strikeouts coming into today. Diving play by Gill at short. The throw is in time to retire John Infante for out number 3. That would have scored a run, but a great defensive play by Gill. More complete in Baton Rouge. Still no score.
Coca-Cola brings you championship expressions.
Last night, LSU's Jordan Faircloth was brilliant out of the pen. His agility and presence on the mound closed out A&M with an outstanding 7-out save, his 4th save of the season.
Coca-Cola, real.
Who knows, Faircloth may not be needed today the way Mestapay is going.
Both guys have been great so far. Knew we were going to get a good pitching matchup. We thought we'd get a good pitching matchup last night. Ended up being a slugfest in 11-8 ball club. But both these guys have thrown the ball well tonight. Faircloth, you saw those 2 1/3 innings, but he is definitely available tonight if LSU would need him. Did a great job last night of slamming the door.
So far in the postseason, Faircloth has not given up a run in 3 appearances. So 0-0-2 for LSU, 0-2-1 for A&M. There is Lane Mestapay, sitting in the same spot he was for about 2 hours before the game. He just sat there by himself for 2 hours. Nobody said one word to him as they walked by. Were you that way when you pitched?
Yeah, I was kind of weird the days I pitched. I was the same. I like to get out there early. I remember the first time I pitched in the big leagues, I went out to right field, sitting in the bullpen about an hour and 15 minutes before the game time. Pitching coach came up to me and said, "What are you doing? Game starts at 7 o'clock. I don't know. I got to get out of the clubhouse. I got to get out." So I know the feeling.
Did you go on win?
I had the lead.
So
did I
did.
win? No. I left with the lead against the White Sox interleague game. Left with the lead. We ended up getting beat.
Clay Harris, Ivan Nakarada, and Will Harris in the 5th for LSU. LSU, the road team today, was the home team yesterday. Harris a strikeout in the second inning. The 2-0 pitch catches the inside corner. Going to be a tough play for Pennington. He has the arm strength, and the throw is there. Good scoop by Maverlis for out number 1.
Tell you what, both shortstops tonight have made errors and since have come back and made great plays. Watch Pennington get around this ball similar to what he did last night. Gets that right foot set, comes up, great throw to first base, and a nice job by Mavroles to dig it out. Immediately picks it up, shows it to the first base umpire Kevin Doherty. Says, here it is, right here, I got it. Nice play all around.
First pitch to Nakarada is fouled away. Nakarada, a senior from Quebec, Canada. Game 2 of the 2003 Super Regional, homered against Baylor for the game winner, which sent LSU to the College World Series for the first time since 2000. That year they knocked off, Stanford to win the NCAA championship. See that squirrel? It's on top of the third base side dugout. It's placed there by fans, and they put nuts there. The reason that's there, it's a good luck charm, so to speak, for the hitter Nakarada. Earlier this season, a squirrel ran onto the field, and one of the cameramen caught a picture of it. It was on the front page of the paper, and Nakarada just standing there looking at the squirrel. And that day, Nakarada had 4 hits, so a fan brought it out the next game, put it on the top of the dugout. I don't get why you put nuts out there. It's not real. Then again, they do things a little bit differently down here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you got to try to sell it, I guess. Yeah, it looks like you got a good little meal over there. Got a good seat, I know that.
Speaking of poker faces, that squirrel's got a pretty good one.
Locked in on Nakarada.
Here's the 2-2. Second time that Jackson has hit a batter. 1 on with 1 out.
That breakup ball's been so good today for Jackson. This just slides right out of his hands. See Nakarada. It's all right, I'll take that one. Any way they can get down there. Not a lot of base runners today for LSU. They'll take him at this point any way they can get them.
Wonder what the squirrel thinks about that one.
Stone-faced. Doesn't even affect the squirrel.
First pitch to Will Harris is outside a ball. As good as those nuts look right now, I guarantee it does not compare with the alligator that we had yesterday.
Oh, is that good?
You walk out of the stadium, everybody knows Kyle Peterson, so I just kind of followed. We went over and had some food with the fans after the game yesterday. I don't know, do they love you because you're Kyle Peterson or because LSU beat you a couple times in the College World Series?
No, they love me because of that video we showed yesterday. Last games I ever threw were against LSU in '97, the year they went on to win the national title, and it was about as bad as I've ever been beat. I'm going to say that's more of the reason. And remember me fondly because of that.
They are great fans here
they're
in
the best. They are the best. Man, they can cook too. 3 plates full yesterday before the ball game.
The 1-1 pitch, potential double play ball to second for 1. The relay in time for the double play. A no-hitter through 5 for Zach Jackson. No score halfway through game 2 of this best-of-3 Super Regional in Baton Rouge. With Kyle Peterson, Dave Pash in Baton Rouge. No scores. We go to the middle of the 5th. A&M coming to the plate. The NCAASports.com online store has a great selection of merchandise for your favorite team. NCAASports.com is the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. 8 super regions, 5 have already been decided. All sweeps, all by the home team. 2 more could be sweeps. Arizona and Long Beach, the only series so far that has gone 3 games. LSU won game 1, 11-8. No score in game 2, halfway through. Travis Bartek, the 8-hitter, Justin Ruggiano, and then the leadoff man, Eric Schindewolf, in the 5th for the Aggies. Chopper to second. Nakarada backs up, then throws out. Bartek for out number 1. So Ruggiano will come to the plate. Senior from Austin, Texas. 1 for 3 last night with an RBI. And he singled to lead off the 3rd. Game-winning grand slam in the 8th inning to beat Rice in the regional championship game. See what he can do here against Lane Mestepe with 1 out in the 1st, or in the 5th inning, I should say. Mestepe's been pretty good, giving up just 2 hits. Back to Mestepe. 2 down. The road to Omaha continues with Tulane and Cal State Fullerton following us on ESPN2. Cal State Fullerton with 9 runs, 19 hits in game 1. Tulane's only previous super regional in 2001. They beat LSU, taking 2 out of 3 from the Tigers.
Pretty good Titan team right there. A lot of the same guys that were there last year. Kurt Suzuki having a huge year for the Titans. PJ Piloteri. A lot of guys that were there last year had a taste of it, won a couple ball games in Omaha. They could be dangerous if they make it back. So that last ground out back to Mestepe. Now 10 ground ball outs for Mestepe today. That ball down in the zone, and he has the Aggies rolling over the top of it.
Schindewolf without a clue on that swing, and it's 0-2. Mestepe was getting behind in the count earlier in the game, but getting ahead of just about every batter the last 2 or 3 innings. The 0-2. Just missing the corner, 1-2. Took a lot off of that pitch. That was about 65 miles an hour.
Changing speeds. You go from 80 to 65. That's a big difference.
That one's going to make it into left field for a single with 2 outs. Schindewolf holds there. So Cliff Pennington will come to the plate. 3rd hit of the day for Texas A&M. 2-out single. First hit for Schindewolf in this super regional.
Well, inside out swing there for Schindewolf. Nice job. Takes that breaking ball, drives it the other way, and now one of their top hitters on the year. In fact, the guy that led them in average, Pennington, here a chance to maybe get something going for the Aggies.
5-game hitting streak so far for Pennington. His average dropped in Big 12 games to 260, but led the team during the regular season in overall games and batting average at 341. Reached base in 61 of 63 games this year. The only times that he didn't were on back-to-back nights against Nebraska. Has been mistaken before for Chad Pennington. On one of the preseason baseball magazines, they had his picture on the Texas A&M page, and it said A&M shortstop Chad Pennington. He looks a little bit like the New York Jet quarterback. No relation. Into right field. Zerang comes up with it for the 3rd out. So Schindewolf is stranded. Mestepe gives up a 2-out single, but it doesn't hurt him. We have played 5 in Baton Rouge. Still no score. No score as we go to the 6th in Baton Rouge. Game 2 of this best-of-3 Super Regional. LSU batting huge in not only the Baton Rouge Regional, but also the Super Regional until today. 11 runs, 17 hits yesterday. No runs, no hits today. Dave Pasch alongside Kyle Peterson. Are you surprised that LSU still does not have a hit after what we saw yesterday from this offense?
Yeah, and really what we saw from both offenses. I mean, they were great offenses yesterday. I'm surprised that we don't have more runs, but I tell you what, it's a testament to both these kids. Zach Jackson's throwing the ball outstanding. I mean, inside, outside, great fastball today. That breaking ball's been good. And for Mestepe, he's doing really what he's done his entire career. Keep guys off balance, get him to drive the ball into the ground. 10 ground ball out so far, and that's something these LSU fans are very, very used to seeing out of Lane Mestepe. Did it for his freshman and sophomore year. Missed last year due to an injury, but he's back at it again this year.
We talked with Mestepe the other day, and he admitted that most of this season his shoulder's been sore, and he said it's just getting to the point where he feels like he's back to where he was, and it's showing here today.
I tell you what, a lot of times, and I had 3 different shoulder surgeries, so I know what he's going through. I mean, a lot of times it takes a significant amount of time to get back to the fact, at least until you know how good you're going to be. Most of the times you don't get back to 100% with the shoulder injury. Elbow injury, yes. Shoulder injury, not nearly as much, but testament to the kid. I mean, he's out throwing the ball very, very well, and everything he's got, he's throwing out there. He's done great today.
Blake Gill will lead off this inning and bounces one up the middle for a base hit. There goes the no-hitter for Zach Jackson.
It was almost on cue. I mean, the standing ovation from the Alex Box faithful when Blake Gill stepped to the plate. And the first pitch, he drives into center field. First pitch fastball here from Zach Jackson. One hopper up the middle, just gets by him. Jackson's done a great job of fielding his position the whole time. Now this crowd is getting into it.
The leadoff hitter, J.C. Holt, comes to the plate 0 for 2 today. 2 for 8 in the Super Regional, a .400 hitter on the season. Bunts, Jackson to first. 1 down. And Gill goes to second base.
On a game where it looks like 1 might be enough, Smoke Laval going to sacrifice Gill over to second base. Great job by J.C. Holt just to get this ball down. You see that speed down to first, just thrown out by a half step there. Nice job of fielding his position by Zach Jackson, but now LSU with a runner in scoring position and a chance to possibly take the lead. Dave, it's looking like one of those ball games where 1 or 2 just might be enough.
Patterson can get you 1. Led the team in RBI during the regular season and in the postseason. But he's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to the shortstop in the first, struck out in the third. The second team All-SEC member takes strike 1. Was not drafted this year. Back in 2002 was a 34th round selection by the Atlanta Braves. Jackson ahead. And here's the 0-1. Nice play at third by Boggs. Looks the runner back and records the out. 2 down.
Have a day, Austin Boggs. I mean, he's just been doing it time after time over there at third base today. The barehander to start the ball game. Now he lays out on this one to probably prevent a run. Nice job of hitting here by Patterson. Takes that breaking ball inside, drives it. Boggs laying out, looks the runner back to second base, throws a strike over to Mavarolas, and a great play by the freshman. He has done it all today over at third.
Both third basemen, Boggs and Clay Harris for LSU, have been outstanding in the field today. Matt Liuzza, the number 3 hitter, hit by a pitch in the first, grounded back to the mound in the fourth. 45 RBI on the season for the sophomore catcher, who takes strike 1. He came up huge in the Super Regional last year with 8 hits and 13 at-bats as the Tigers beat Baylor to advance to Omaha for the first time in 3 seasons. Trying to get there again in 04, leading this best-of-3 series 1 game to none. A&M has not been to the College World Series since 1999. Mark Johnson, Texas A&M head coach, 0-5 against LSU in the NCAA tournament. Runner at second. 2 down in the top of the 6th. First-round draft pick Zach Jackson on the mound still for Texas A&M, giving up just that 1 hit, the leadoff single in this inning to Blake Gill. Trying to retire Liuza and get out of the inning. In there for strike 2. We weren't sure what we were going to get from Jackson today based on his recent performances against teams like Texas and Rice. What a job he's done today, though, against an equally good team, maybe even better offensively than Rice and LSU.
I tell you what, he's been great. You know, one of those things, this is after the draft now, so that's entirely out of his mind. He doesn't have to think about it anymore. You don't worry about the draft. Now you just go out there and pitch, and he's showing you why he was taken so high.
Did you deal with that? You were a first-round pick. Prior to the draft, were you worried about that?
The draft was in Omaha. You do your best to put it out of your mind. I don't care what anybody says. If anybody says they don't think about it, they're lying to you. I mean, you can't help but think about it, but you just hope that it doesn't go out there and affect your performance. I never thought about it during the game. There were times when I was away from the field that I thought about it plenty, but you've still got a job to do, and anytime you throw on that college uniform, do everything you can.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Liuza. Jackson taken by the Blue Jays, 32nd overall. Freshman All-American back when he was at Louisville. Transferred to A&M. First team All Big 12 this year. 3-2 pitch coming up to the catcher Liuza. Ball 4. At first base open, so 2 on for the cleanup hitter. 2nd round draft choice, John Zarang. Don't you love this when you get a 1st round draft pick against another guy drafted high in a great game like this with no score, key situation offensively for LSU?
Done some huge defensive plays to keep it in a 0-0 slot at this point. Yeah, we got a great matchup here. Zarang makes the great play in the last inning to get LSU out of it. The diving play and right. Now he has a chance to give him the lead.
In the dirt, blocked by Stinson. Zarang ended the last inning with this fine play in right field.
Laying out in right field, you know, we've talked about him offensively. Defensively, he's an outstanding right fielder, too. We talked about his arm earlier. Obviously, it shows you the range right there. Pretty good speed for a right fielder. Diamondbacks are getting themselves a very good baseball player.
They have such a young team, too, that there'll be a lot of competition in that outfield.
They drafted a couple outfielders last year too high. Carlos Quentin out of Stanford, Connor Jackson out of Cal. Guys that they're real high on that are moving up through their system. So stockpiling the outfielders right now.
2 on, 2 out. The 1-0 to second base. Easy play for Schindewolf. Still no score. The no-hitter is gone. But Jackson gets out of the 6th. We go to the bottom half. Jackson getting it done for the Aggies today. "19 runs scored last night, but no runs in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series. As we go to inning number 6, the bottom half. You can get the complete results from the Division II and III baseball championships, as well as info on the 2005 baseball tournaments for every division at NCAAsports.com. It's the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Very helpful website for us in terms of preparing for this event. You can sit there and watch all the scores change during both the regional and super regionals and the College World Series as well, which is next week. Will be broadcast here on ESPN and ESPN2. You'll be there in Omaha, your hometown.
Can't wait. Looking forward to going home. All the games this year on either ESPN or ESPN2. The 3-game championship series will be not this weekend, but the following weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Really a good situation and a great way to end the college season.
Austin Boggs, Corey Patton, and Kobe Mavrolis in the 6th for A&M. A&M coaches and fans got a scare last weekend when Boggs nearly collapsed due to dehydration while he was at the plate. He's okay. Made some great defensive plays here today, but so far 0 for 3 at the plate as he grounds out to start the 6th.
I said it scared him a little bit at the time. His calves cramped up, and both of them cramped up at the same time. He just kind of sat down. They weren't sure what was going on, and once they figured out what it was, they knew he was okay. Mark Johnson said the next day guys were ragging on him right away. So there's baseball for you. They worry about you for a couple minutes. They figure out you're all right. Then you hear about it.
It's a ruthless sport. But Mark Johnson, such a great coach and very grounded man. He and many of his players heavily involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
An outstanding guy. He's accomplished so much at Texas A&M. 20 years at Texas A&M. Recently inducted into the Texas Baseball Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 2001 into the American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. 2-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. I mean, the man has accomplished a ton down in College Station.
Got a ring, too, as an assistant coach under ESPN broadcaster Jerry Kindle at Arizona when Johnson was an assistant coach. Mark Johnson's 2 sons also played for him at Texas A&M. Off the end of the bat to third. Another excellent dig by Clay Harris. Boy, he and Boggs are putting on a show at third base today. 2 down in the 6th.
Again, ground ball, ground ball, ground ball. Impressive today. Nakarada started it with the 4-3, the first out of the inning, and now a little check swing, from Corey Patton. Nice job by Clay Harris. Ranges over to his left, throws a strike to his brother, and 2 quick outs here in the A&M half of the 6th.
Kobe Mavrilis still looking for his first hit in the Super Regional. 0 for 6. Takes ball 1 just off the inside corner. Mavrilis' dad is a coach, and that's what Kobe wants to do when he's done playing college baseball. Ground ball to second base. Nakarada. 3 up, 3 down for Lane Mestape. Still no score. We've played 6 in game 2. What's that? All right, Dave, low scoring game there, and here in Baton Rouge as well. 0-0 as we go to the 7th inning. 13 ground ball outs by Mestape, and Jackson's done a pretty good job keeping the ball on the ground as well.
Standing, both these guys using their infielders, and their infielders have been superb so far today. A couple of errors there you see, 2 for LSU, 1 for Texas A&M, but when they've needed to make the big plays, both teams have done it so far. The pitchers have been outstanding, working the zone. Only 1 walk combined from both guys today, a couple of hit batters, but other than that, it's been a very, very well-played ball game.
Only 1 player for LSU has reached second. That was Will Harris back in the 3rd. Then he was thrown out on a grounder back to the mound. Only 1 batter for A&M has reached past second. That was Cliff Pennington in the 1st inning, got to 3rd. But a great play at first base by Will Harris to snare a line drive, kept that ball from getting into the outfield and scoring Pennington easily. Pitch number 79 coming up for first round draft choice, Zach Jackson. Stavenall will lead off the inning, followed by Clay Harris and Ivan Nakarada. 0 for 2 so far for Stavenall. Again, Jackson ahead in the count.
First pitch changeup keeps him off balance, comes back with that nice fastball right on the outside half, and now if you're Stavenall, not sure what you're going to see here. 0-2.
Off-speed pitch goes down swinging. First strikeout since the 3rd. 6 Ks now for Zach Jackson.
3 pitches, 3 different pitches from Zach Jackson. First pitch changeup, second pitch fastball, finishes him with a breaking ball right there. Stavenall just a little bit out front, kind of a backdoor breaking ball. Jackson has them all going today.
So 1 down in the top of the 7th. Clay Harris, who's come up with some gems in the field, will try to get on base for the first time today. Struck out in the 2nd, grounded out to the shortstop in the 5th. Grounds this one foul. Clay Harris started at LSU as a pitcher mostly in 2002. He's big enough, 6'4", 240. When Clay Harris and Will Harris take the field, you know who they are. Not just because they look alike, but because they're so big.
They're the biggest ones out there.
Curveball outside.
All SEC last year, at 16 home runs last year for this LSU ball club. Dropped off a little bit this year, just 7. But you can see the power is definitely there.
There's Will Harris, who is in the hole. Nakarada on deck. Fly ball into right field. Ruggiano under it. 2 out. A rare fly ball. Not many have extended beyond the infield in the last 4 or 5 innings.
Second baseman, Nakarada.
So Nakarada comes to the plate with 2 down. Nakarada lined out in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 5th, and the Squirrel is praying for a hit here in the 7th. Fouled back, 0-1.
Times you got to make an adjustment.
We're told that foul ball just hit our truck, so maybe that's the kind of break that Nakarada needs to get on base. It's amazing how more than any other sport or any kind of athlete, baseball players so superstitious. Do you think it's because you play so many games that you have that many superstitions?
Much time. I mean, you've got so much time. You know, the big leagues, you got 162 games. Even in college, I mean, you play a 56-game season, go on to the postseason, play 65, 70 ball games. A lot of downtime. A lot of conversations about a whole lot of nothing.
Well, you were a Stanford guy. Did you get smarter or dumber when you went to the big leagues?
No.
Based on some of those conversations.
They're great conversations. You definitely don't get much smarter. Not a lot of in-depth conversations a lot of times, but it is fun.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Lined past the second baseman Schindewolf. And Fonte scoops it up. And a 2-out single for Ivan Nakarada.
Rally Squirrel comes through right here. Breaking ball out away from him. Nice job. Gets those hands extended, stays back, and the ball drives into the right center field for a single. And just out of the outstretched arms of Eric Schindewolf. Be surprised if Nakarada's off and running. That Squirrel's work might not be done yet.
Now, the Squirrel probably wants to take credit for it, but maybe it was the truck. The fact that he fouled one off and it drilled our truck.
Nothing happened until he hit the truck. The Squirrel's been there the whole game. Rally truck.
Will Harris, who leads the team in hitting in the postseason, stands in ball 1 as that one catches the dirt before Stinson makes a good stop. No runs, 5 hits, 3 errors combined after we had 19 runs, 28 hits yesterday. The only thing that hasn't changed from yesterday, the errors. Just today, they have not cost either team.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Very costly errors yesterday for both ball clubs, especially LSU early. And today, the pitchers have made the big pitches when they need to. And for Zach Jackson, here's another spot where he needs to make a couple big ones.
The 1-0 drilled into center field, and Fonte going back. Makes the catch just shy of the wall to end the inning. A deep fly ball to center by Will Harris, but Jackson survives. Middle of the 7th, no score in Baton Rouge. Don't freak out, folks. This was last night in Game 1. A&M came up with 5 in the top of the 1st. LSU took the lead 6-5, lost the lead, got it back, lost it again, got it back, won 11-8. Today's a little bit different.
Tale of 2 nights. Great defense tonight. Couple errors. They haven't really made any difference in the score. Obviously, nobody's scored. Pitching has been outstanding. Tons of ground balls. Mestepe's been throwing the ball down in zone the whole night. And I thought Will Harris might have ridden one right out of this ballpark, but just short of carrying out.
Driven to right field, but Zerang is there. First fly ball out since early in the 5th. Mestepe had only given up one fly ball out since the 3rd inning before that fly ball to Zerang. A lot of first pitch swinging. You expect to see less of that because the pitchers are doing so well, or more of that because they're getting ahead in the count.
You know, I think it's one of those things, as the game goes on and you realize the guy's established a strike zone, you know he's going to work ahead. I mean, I think it makes sense to swing earlier in the count. Early in the ball game, you don't know if he's going to be around it. Maybe take a couple pitches, but I think both these guys have been pumping strikes the entire game.
Infante 0 for 2 sends that one down the right field line, foul. Mestepe's been doing a great job keeping the ball on the ground. Just one strikeout, but 13 groundouts.
We talked about it earlier. I mean, he's not a strikeout guy. He doesn't rely on it. He relies on his defense, and his defense has been outstanding. 13 ground ball outs, and really not many of them have been hard hit. Blake Gill made an outstanding play up the middle. That was the hardest hit ball of the game.
He got the win to send LSU to the Super Regional, giving up 3 runs in 7 innings against College of Charleston. Trying to pitch LSU into the College World Series for the 2nd straight year. Count runs to 2-2 to John Infante.
You know, Lane Mestepe didn't get a chance to play in that College World Series last year. He was there, but he didn't play. And he said, you know, that's one thing that stuck with me. I want to pitch there, not just go there.
That drops in front of the center fielder Holt for a 1-out single. It's the 4th hit allowed by Mestepe. And Infante is aboard the bottom of the lineup for A&M. Doing it again. They were 7 out of 13 last night. The 7, 8, 9 hitters have combined for 2 out of the 4 hits for A&M in this game so far.
Well, Infante with a stolen base already today, too. Don't be surprised if Mark Johnson puts him in motion here pretty quick. At this point in the ball game, you got to try to manufacture something.
Remember, runners are 7 for 7 against Mestepe. Not many have tried, but those that have been successful. Two for 2 today, including the one you just mentioned by Infante back in the 2nd. Bartek rips it foul. Bartek's been close. Flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. Grounded to the second baseman in the 5th. Had 3 hits and an RBI. 3 RBI, I should say, and a run in game 1 yesterday. Bartek in his first year with Texas A&M, a junior college All-American last year. He has been red hot over the last 10-15 games, batting right around .425 during that span. They got him caught, picked off at second base. Infante is thrown out, 2 down.
A great move right here by Mestepe, and a great job by Will Harris to come get this baseball. As he comes and gets it, 1, gets to him a lot faster. 2, he's inside, easier throw to shortstop. Blake Gill with the tag.
Bartek lines out to Clay Harris at 3rd to retire the Aggies in the 7th. We have played 7, no score. Let's go to the NCAA Championship Studios. Dave and Tony. Yesterday's game took about 3.5 hours. This one has yet to go 2 hours, and we're already in the 8th inning. No score between LSU and Texas A&M. Well, we talked about how great these fans are down here in Baton Rouge. Doesn't matter how warm it is, they'll show up. And this is the largest crowd in the history of this great program, over 7,600 on hand.
Is outstanding. I tell you what, college baseball just exploding right now around the country. Baum Field in Arkansas had over 10,000 yesterday to see the Razorbacks advance to Omaha. And really catching on all across the country. They love it in the SEC. They pack them in almost every venue, but really across the country. Outstanding attendance this year, and sure it will be the exact same thing next week in Omaha.
And fans that can't make it to Omaha will get their fill with ESPN and ESPN2's coverage of the College World Series. Leading off inning number 8 for LSU against Zach Jackson will be Blake Gill, the only man to get a base hit off of Jackson. That was back in the 6th inning. He got the first hit of the game, and then Ivan Nakarada got the second hit for LSU in the 7th inning. 0-2-2 for LSU, 0-4-1 for A&M. Gill, Holt, and Patterson in the 8th for LSU. Gill, a junior from Bradenton, Florida. Kevin Whalen, who you really liked.
Can bring it. Came on last night. I talked to pitching coach Lawler before the ball game. He said, you know what, if I can get 7 out of Jackson, 2 out of Whalen, it'd be a good game. Well, Jackson's still going strong, and Whalen's ready to go.
The 0-1 just catches the outside corner. Gill in the hole, 0-2. Looking for career complete game this season, I should say, number 7, 6 already on the year. 3 shutouts this year for Zach Jackson. The 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. A&M used 5 pitchers yesterday. LSU 3. But their starter only lasted 2/3 of an inning. No substitutions yet today. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. First time that Gill strikes out. 7 Ks for Jackson now.
There's that breaking ball again. He's been doing it all day. Starts that breaking ball middle in and watch it just disappear down and away. Blake Gill swinging early. Got down in that count. Zach Jackson did a good job of finishing him off.
Jackson, the 32nd overall selection in the 2004 draft by the Toronto Blue Jays. Says his favorite player is Andy Pettit. He's looked a lot like Pettit today. 6'5" left-hander, a junior from the Pittsburgh area. Holt grounds to short. Pennington deep in the hole. Makes a strong throw to retire Holt for out number 2.
Nice play from Pennington. Watch him go backhand side here, take a 2-hopper, set his feet. Nice strong throw over to first base to Maravallis. Mavarolas make it. Nice job. Pennington's been strong really all game. We talked about the one error he made, came back, made 2 great plays after that. His first baseman has picked him up on one of them, but he's doing a great job out there at short.
Grounded foul by Patterson. Mavarolas, a pretty good defensive player at first base as well. Just 1 error this season and some 540 chances. Struggled at the plate in this Super Regional, but has been pretty good with the glove. No balls and 2 strikes to Patterson.
It'll be interesting to see, too, if Jackson gets out of this inning, continues to pitch the way he does, how long they will go with him. You saw Whalen up and throw him. He is now sat down. There's his pitch count, 96 pitches, not a lot. Still looks like he has plenty in the tank. I would expect to see him next inning if he continues to throw this way.
Pitch number 97 is swung on and missed by Patterson. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 8 for a fired up Zach Jackson in the game. No score. Back on the Bayou, Dave Pasch, Kyle Peterson. Game 2 of this best-of-3 series. The winner goes to Omaha. LSU leads 1-0. No score as we go to the bottom of the 8th after 11-8 outing yesterday won by the Tigers. The starting pitchers have both been terrific in Game 2.
Been outstanding. I mean, both guys coming in. We knew Jackson, the high-round draft pick, expected him to throw the ball well. Mestepe has been in these situations before. Has been so good for LSU over the last 3 years. he has been as advertised well. What a great college baseball game here at Alex Box.
Leading off inning number 8 for Texas A&M is Justin Ruggiano. He did not go around on that pitch. 1 for 2 today. In case you just joined us, Ruggiano, the hero against Rice in the regional, hit a grand slam in the 8th inning to beat the defending champs in that championship game of the Houston region. '25th round draft choice by the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the count is 1-2.
Just change up there from Mestapay. Goes fastball. Flips in that 74-mile-an-hour changeup. About an 8, 9, 10 mile an hour difference between his fastball, and that is plenty. That's all you need.
Missing low and inside, or low and outside, I should say. 2-2 now. 1 strikeout today. That was Austin Boggs in the 3rd. Only 41 Ks in the year for Mestapay. Grounder to 3rd. Clay Harris guns it in time to get Ruggiano.
Clay Harris has done it all day. Here he is again. Nice throw on the run. Strong throw over to first base. Nice call. Nice call, Kevin Doherty. Kevin Doherty over at first base. The umpire out of the Pac-10. Tell you what, it makes it tough. Anytime you slide, makes it tougher on that first base umpire. But I think he had that one right. He was out.
Umpires have been great today. There's really only one questionable play. Otherwise, they've been very, very good. There also has not been a lot of close plays at first base.
We really haven't. We talked about Kevin over there at first base. He was a Pac-10 umpire when I was playing at Stanford in the Pac-10. Was outstanding then. Has worked some College World Series. Good to see him out here.
Schindewolf takes the ball. Just misses, so it's 2-1 to the A&M leadoff hitter, who singled in his last at bat in the 5th. Walked in the 1st. Fielder's choice in the 3rd. That one's in there, and it's 2-2. Due up in the 9th for LSU, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Liuzas, Orang, and Stavino. The 2-2 pitch, and it hits the batter, Schindewolf. Just catches him, so he takes first with 1 out.
Trying to run this 2-2 fastball in on him. Nice day to leave that shirt hanging out just far enough. Just nicks his shirt on the way by, and that's all it takes. Not even enough to really affect the fly of the ball. Liuzas still able to catch it, but so it hits your shirt, it's a dead ball, and the Yankees have a base runner here in the 8th.
Schindewolf can run. Pennington, 0-1. Cliff Pennington looking for his first hit today, 0 for 3. He's the only base runner to get to 3rd today for Texas A&M. He got on in the 1st, stole a base, and was stranded at 3rd. Only 2 other players have gotten to 2nd base, Ruggiano in the 3rd and Stinson in the 4th. So no one since the 4th for A&M has reached 2nd base. Mestapay's only given up 4 hits, a pitch out, nothing doing, so it's 1-1.
Now, if you're Mark Johnson, probably a good time to run. Chances are they're not going to pitch out 2 times in a row, a 1-1 count. Good contact hitter at the plate in Pennington.
Low and outside, 2-1. Pennington, the regional MVP last weekend, had 10 hits, 5 driven in. He homered last night, had a couple of RBI. Trying to be the super regional MVP for Texas A&M. See what he does here, 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2. All Big 12 each of the last 2 years. Mestapay to the plate. Lifted into center field. Holt tracks it down for out number 2. So it's up to Austin Boggs here in the bottom half of inning number 8. 2 down, runner at first.
Third baseman, Austin Boggs.
Boggs so far 1 for 8 in the Super Regional. Scored a couple of runs last night. Struck out back in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th. Lined out back in the 1st on a hard hit ball that Will Harris caught. You go back to that. If Will Harris doesn't make that play, A&M's leading 1-0.
Absolutely. Been a couple different times today. Great play in right field by Zarang. Saved a run. Plays by Harris. Saved a run. Diving play by Gill up the middle. Saved a run. I mean, defensive gems all the way around today for LSU.
Didn't start off that way. Had a couple errors early, but they've calmed down since. Maybe when those errors don't bite you, you play a little bit looser on defense. There goes the runner. Rounded fair. No play at second. Long throw is there. Another nice throw by Clay Harris at third base. The Hardley order comes to bat for the Tigers in the 9th. No score after 8. Lane Mestapay's been great. So Zach Jackson. Hard to believe, David Tony, that game started the same time ours did. That game's in the 5th. This one is now in the 9th. Zach Jackson will start the 9th. He's been great so far through 8 innings, giving up just 2 LSU hits. And Kyle, please explain what this is.
Well, you know, he's just trying to loosen up. I mean, a lot of guys will do this before a ball game just to make sure that your arm muscles are loosened up, make sure that rotator cuff and all those little muscles in your shoulder are ready to go. Granted, he's been out there a while today, but just making sure. Probably a little bit of nervous energy in there, too. I mean, he's throwing the ball so well, still zeros up there, but could be a little superstitious, too. You never know. Everybody has their little things. I had a buddy who used to fold his jacket the exact same way in between every inning. He had it exactly right. If not, he wouldn't go out yet.
The largest crowd ever to watch a game here at Alex Box Stadium wants to see the Tigers go back to Omaha. The meat of the order here in the 9th of a scoreless game. Number 3, Liuza. Number 4, hitter Zarang. And number 5, hitter Nick Stavinoff. Against Zach Jackson. The 32nd pick of the 2004 draft. He'll likely be in the Blue Jay organization next year. But right now he's trying to even this series at 1 game apiece and force a game 3 tomorrow. LSU took game 1 last night, 11-8. The 0-1 to Liuza. Count even at 1-1. Pitch number 100 coming up for Zach Jackson. Outside of ball. 2-1. We always hear analysts like yourself and coaches talking about the importance of getting ahead in the count. And that has held true today for both starters.
Well, these guys have done it the entire day. I mean, very, very few walks. I think just 1 walk on each side, maybe a couple hit batsmen, but guys have been pounding the strike zone early and often.
That's inside, and Liuza did not go around, so here's a case of being behind in the count. 3 balls and a strike to Liuza.
Now 3-1. So if you're Liuza, you know you're going to get a fastball. Free your hands up, you get a good one, swing at it. If not, take ball 4.
Mestapay, the LSU starter in his last outing, went 3 balls to only 1 batter. He's been very good today as well for the Tigers. Here's the 3-1 from Jackson. Base hit into left field. So he drives the fastball, Kyle, into left field for a leadoff single in the 9th.
that situation, this spot, 3-1 count this late in the game, you know you're going to get a fastball, and that's exactly what Matt LaIuzza got. This ball a little bit up in the zone. If you're Jackson, you got to challenge him. He's done it the entire day. Great swing by LaIuzza, drives into left field. I got a feeling that the LaIuzza Sports Bar, Metairie, they're going nuts right now.
Buto will be the base runner at first, pinch running for LaIuzza. And here we go with that first round versus second round matchup. First rounder Zach Jackson against second rounder John Zarang.
And in almost any situation you would bunt right here, but your four-hole guy in Zarang up, your power guy, probably the best hitter on the ball club. Interesting to see what Smoke Laval does in this situation. I'd be surprised if he bunts it. I think if anybody else was up, he would probably bunt him in this situation.
Buto is back. Zarang's advisor is Larry Reynolds, the brother of Harold Reynolds. So the Reynolds family ready to erupt if Zarang drives one out of the park or drives in the runner at first. Lefty against righty, and Zarang takes ball one. He struck out in the first, grounded out weakly in the fourth to the second baseman, and another ground out to the second baseman in the sixth. Bouncer through into left field. Runners at first and second, nobody out.
Pretty good pitch from Jackson. He's going to run this fastball in on his hands. Zarang fights it up. Pulp those hands in, gets just enough of it. Drive it by a diving Austin Boggs. Now the first two runners on base. The first time that has happened all of this game. Kevin Whalen is ready down the left field line, and we'll see what Mark Johnson wants to do right here.
He's going to let him pitch. You agree with this?
Tell you what, the kid's got you this far. I mean, I know if I'm in this situation, if I'm on the mound, I want my chance to try to get out of it. Jackson's thrown the ball so well the entire day. I mean, the first ball of the inning was hit hard by LaIuzza. That last one, he made a good pitch just out of the reach of Boggs. Again, though, does Smoke Laval bunt in this situation? Now first and second with the power of Stabenow. We'll see what he wants to do.
The designated hitter batting fifth, struck out twice today against Jackson. Hasn't been that good swinging away. Maybe he should bunt. He squares and then pulls it back. Ball one.
He's getting up there, 106 pitches. Still not a ton, though. I mean, in college, it'd be a lot of times throw 115, 120 or more pitches. So that 106 is not a huge count. We already talked about the complete game 6 on the year, so he's been this far plenty of times.
Mavrilis is in on the grass at first base. Outside 2-0. Mavrilis is going to go over and talk with his pitcher Jackson for a moment. They come to their feet at the box in the ninth. LSU wins, and for the second straight year, the Tiger fans can continue the party from tonight all the way until next weekend when they go to Omaha for the College World Series. Just on the outside corner, 2-1. They're back even with the bag at the corners now.
Mark Johnson right there, too, wanted to see what Smoke Laval was up to. That's why you saw that inside move to second base, and Stavinaugh immediately showed bunt. He wanted to see if Stavinaugh was going to bunt. He was in that case. Smoke Laval gave him 1 strike. Tried to bunt on the first pitch, let it go for a ball, and said, all right, I'll give you 1 strike. Now with 2-1 count, he wanted him to bunt again. We'll see if it's still on.
The 2-1, swinging away and fouling it back is Stavinaugh. The count is even at 2-2.
We have a cat and mouse game going on right now between both dugouts. The bunt was on when the pickoff was on, then he took it off right away. Your Texas A&M and your Zach Jackson, this is the biggest time of the game that you need a strikeout.
Official time. Some debris on the field behind home plate. Veteran coaching staffs, Mark Johnson, 20th year at the helm at A&M. Smoke Laval has been a head coach for 10 years, was an assistant for 10 years at LSU. 3rd year as the Tigers head coach. Trying to get him back to the College World Series. High and outside, full count, 3-2. Do you send them or no at first and second?
No, you can't. You can't take a chance of running yourself out of an inning. If you send him, it's easier to throw to third base. If it's a strike him out, throw him out situation, it just deflates your ball club. I don't think you take the chance of sending him right here.
Jackson to Stavinaugh. 3 balls, 2 strikes. They do not go, and the pitch is fouled off. A bluff at first base by Zarang.
You know, and I like that move by Zarang, too, because Jackson can see him. He can't see what goes on at second base, but he can see what goes on at first. And a little flinch by Zarang at times could maybe jump into his head just enough to either miss or throw the ball right down the middle.
This is great, huh?
This is great. Really is. I mean, this is...
Can't ask for a better atmosphere.
The epitome of college baseball right here. And it's really neat that the game has gotten to this point.
3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, 2 runners on, no score. 4 hits for LSU, 4 hits for A&M. That's it today. Jackson steps off. The 3-2. And the bases are loaded with nobody out for Clay Harris.
Three-two fastball. Nick Jackson trying to go down and in. And he missed just a little bit down, and no. Lawler's going to make the slow walk out. We'll see what he decides to do right here.
Jim Lawler, the pitching coach, 2003 National Assistant Coach of the Year. Kevin Whalen, former catcher, pitched well yesterday, is in the pen.
I talked with Jim today, too, about Whalen. He said, you know, one of the reasons why he hasn't been in a lot this year is because he's our backup catcher, and there's a lot of times we can't put him in the ball game. If Stinson gets hurt, he's the guy we have to use to catch, so we have to pick our spots with Whalen. If you see Whalen today, you are going to see a big-time fastball. You're thinking run it up into the mid-90s, but we're not going to see him right now. And Jim Lawler out there to talk to his lefty, Zach Jackson, said, all right, buddy, let's see what you got. You've got us this far. You deserve the chance to keep going.
He'll pitch against Clay Harris, who last year in the championship game of the Super Regional against Baylor hit a grand slam. He's got a chance to maybe do it again. Infield in with nobody out, no score, top of the 9th.
With Clay Harris, you're looking for something you can get airborne. Infield in, a ball mid-depth in the outfield, and they will be trying to score from third base.
Inside ball 1. Harris takes strike one. Buteau at third. Sarang is at second. Stabenow at first. After a walk. First time today that 3 straight hitters have gotten on base for LSU. 1-1 to Harris. 2-1. What do you expect to see here in terms of a pitch from Jackson?
Tell you what, you got to throw something that you know you're going to throw for a strike. He's shown the ability to throw all 3 pitches. His best chance is off speed if he can throw it for a strike. They must have been thinking there was a chance they were going to squeeze right there.
Buteau has some speed at third. Infield in. 2-1. Now the crowd rises for the 3-1 pitch. Second overall pick in the draft, Zach Jackson by the Blue Jays. A 3-1 count to Clay Harris. The pitch lined into center field. Infante makes the catch. Buteau scores easily. The cut, it's short. The throw not in time to second. One nothing LSU.
Great job of hitting here by Clay Harris. This is a 3-1 fastball. He's going to drive it to center field. Infante back makes the play. Now Buteau able to score easily from third base, but the play on this one is the fact that Stabenow goes to second base. Now runners at second and third, still only 1 out. Stabenow changes the fact that a double play would get Texas A&M out of this inning. That's a great job of base running by Stabenow right there.
Ivan Nakarada comes to the plate. Reached base his last 2 times up since we started showing the squirrel. Hit by a pitch in the 5th, singled in the 7th. 278 on the season. Second and third, 1 out. 1 run in, the first of the day. All the way 0-1. Kyle Nicholson is warming up in the pen. Surprised at all that Jackson wasn't pulled after that line shot to center?
No, you know, I really wasn't. I mean, I think they're showing a lot of courage in leaving this kid in there, and he's deserved it. He's thrown the ball well over the course of the year, and they're saying, hey, this is your ball game.
Off-speed pitch that's good for a strike, 0-2. The meat of the order for Texas A&M due up in the bottom of the 9th. 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Aggies.
Lane Mestapay down the right field line. He will come in and try to finish this ball game. There'll be action in the LSU bullpen, but I think they'll give it to Mestapay, see if he can finish it out.
Yeah, Faircloth just jogged out there and warm up too. He got the save last night. Good cut by Nakarada. It remains no balls, 2 strikes. Stinson will talk with Jackson. Nakarada in Game 2 of the Super Regional versus Baylor in 2003 hit the game-winning home run. Got a chance to be a hero again today in Game 2 of the 2004 Super Regional. LSU wins, it's in. A&M wins. We play Game 3 tomorrow. High, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. First base open. Will Harris is in the on deck circle. Fastball or off speed, Kyle?
I think he goes off speed. Breaking ball away.
Fastball that's lifted foul down the left field line and back into the stands.
First base open in this situation. 2-2 count. That breaking ball's been so good for him today, especially lefty on lefty matchup. That ball going away from that left-hander is so tough to hit.
Well, maybe set him up with that one. Through the fastball just off the plate on the outside. We'll see if he goes off speed here. 2-2 to Nakarada. Fastball again, popped in the air, third base side. No play. Pretty good at bat here for Ivan Nakarada.
Very good at bat. Fouled off a couple tough pitches here. Was in an 0-2 hole. Now has worked it back to 2-2.
LSU trying to make its 13th appearance in the College World Series. Dave Pash with Kyle Peterson in Baton Rouge. LSU leads A&M 1-0. They had a scoreless game through 8. Tigers came up with 1 on a sac fly to center by Clay Harris. Nakarada bounces it foul. 2-2.
Three straight fastballs in a row. Nice job by Nakarada to fight them all off. But I tell you what, if you ever had a situation where he's set up for a breaking ball away, this is it right now. Fastball. That last fastball inside tied him up a little bit. Start that breaking ball middle of the plate, let it fall off the plate, and it's tough for Nakarada to lay off that pitch.
Jackson has not thrown a lot in the dirt today. And time called. Any idea what they're talking about right now?
Well, they just want to make sure they're on the same page. Runner on second base, they're going through a couple different signals. And generally, when you shake off, you're going back to first or second sign. A lot of times it's not the same. If there's ever a spot you want to make sure you're on the same page, this is definitely it.
27 pitches already this inning. Another 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Pennington records out number 2, and that's a big one because the runners stay put.
He stayed with that fastball. I tell you what, nice job. Kept pumping fastballs in there. Got Nakarada to pop it up. Good job of pitching. There's definitely more than one way to get it done when you're out there. Well-placed fastballs, all he needed to do right there, and Nakarada just popped it up to the shortstop.
Well, Will Harris has been the best hitter for LSU in the postseason, although he struggled today 0 for 3. Looking for an enormous 2-out hit. 2 runners on. LSU had bases loaded, nobody out. Jackson trying to get out of this thing with minimal harm done. Harris sends this one to deep left field. It's gone. A potential backbreaker. A 3-run shot with 2 out in the 9th by Will Harris. our Pontiac high performance moment. The first pitch from Jackson. See it.
Drilled to left by Will Harris. Thinks he got it right when he swings. This ball just carries out to left field over the outstretched arms of Travis Bartek. Huge spot for LSU. A 4-run lead now at least when they head to the ninth, and the Tigers are fired up. They can smell Omaha right now.
And that will do it for Zach Jackson. Pitched a whale of a game, but struggled in the ninth, giving up 4 runs. And a big round of applause from the LSU faithful. Again, showing how classy they are. 4-0 LSU. We've got a pitching change in the ninth. 4-0 LSU on a 3-run shot by Will Harris. And how do you not feel for starting pitcher Zach Jackson?
I tell you what, you're going to open the paper tomorrow and you're going to see a line score that shows 4 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings, and that doesn't even come close to telling the story from this ballgame. That kid threw his heart out. He did everything he possibly could today. Held one of the most powerful offenses in all of college baseball down for 8 innings and change. And in the end, 1 pitch ended up costing him. But he made so many good pitches over the course of the game. You just hope that he thinks about all the good ones and not the one bad one.
Had a no-hitter through 5. Looked like he might get out of that jam here in the ninth. But instead, a 3-run homer by Will Harris prompting this move. Kevin Whalen comes into the game. They're trying to retire Blake Gill and give A&M one final opportunity.
Came on last night, threw a third of an inning, struck out J.C. Holt with some high fastballs, and you're going to see some fastballs. That's what he features, a mid-90s fastball with a hammer to follow it.
LSU has not lost this year when going into the 9th inning with the lead. Swing and a miss by Gill. We talked so much over the last 2 days about the bottom of the order for Texas A&M. And the bottom of the order for LSU has been equally impressive, especially the Harris brothers, Clay and Will, both on defense and offense.
I mean, the sac fly to center for Clay Harris ends up, as of right now, being the game winner. And obviously the big shot to left by Will. And defensively, I mean, really the unsung story of the game. You're not going to see it again in the box score tomorrow, but Clay has made some huge plays over at third base. His brothers picked him up a couple times at first.
Clay and Will would love to share this with their grandparents. Their mother passed away in a car accident when they were just kids. Their father really isn't a part of their lives right now. They would love to send their grandparents to Omaha next week. 0-2 to Blake Gill. 2 out in the ninth. And Whalen gets out of the inning. The crowd beginning to sense a second straight trip to the College World Series. They are 3 outs away from going back to Omaha. 4-0 Tigers, middle of the ninth. The SEC's top hitting team comes alive in the top of the ninth. 4 runs, 3 coming in a Will Harris home run, and now it's up to Lane Mestepe, who's been brilliant the first 8 innings to close down this series. No shutouts this season for Mestepe. 2 complete games, and the leadoff hitter Patton flies out to center for out number 1. Austin Weaver has come on to catch for LSU here in the ninth. Dustin Weaver, excuse me. Kobe Mavrolas comes to the plate. Craig Stinson will follow here in the bottom of the ninth. 1 down. And what a story Lane Mestepe is. Only pitcher in LSU history with at least 10 wins in his freshman and sophomore seasons. He's the ace pitcher, first team SEC both in 2001 and 2002. But in 2003, a shoulder injury. He's a medical redshirt. He comes back, gets off to a slow start this year, starts to pick up steam at the end of the year, gets the game winner in the regional title game against College of Charleston, and he's 2 outs away from sending his team to the College World Series for the 2nd straight year. He was a bystander last year And the catch made as Holt and Patterson converge in left center field for out number 2. Five championships for LSU, most recently 2000. They were in the World Series a year ago. They lost their only 2 games.
Tiger bullpen walking in. This one is Mestapes to finish.
Craig Stinson waiting for the 0-1 pitch. 1 strike away from Omaha. Line drive, base hit to right field with 2 out by Stinson. And this will bring up John Infante.
At the plate for the Yankees, center fielder John Infante.
A&M head coach Mark Johnson said the Aggies had to pitch well. Well, they did today. But just too many weapons offensively for LSU. The 1-0 pitch. Count even at 1-1. Will Harris playing first base, the 3-run homer in the top of the 9th. Two balls and a strike. Fouled away down the right field line and back into the stands. If LSU wins here, how do you like their chances in Omaha?
Tell you what, they're going to match up with a very good Miami team right away. Funny thing, I mean, you get back to Omaha, you can throw everything right out the window. Everything starts anew. Weird things happen there every year, and there's Coach Skip Bertman, who has seen it so many times.
The pitch to Infante, to the shortstop. It's Mestapes Day in Baton Rouge. He pitches LSU to another College World Series. LSU 4, Texas A&M nothing. The 6th team to sweep their Super Regional Series, and former baseball coach, current athletic director Skip Bertman proud of Smoke Laval and company as they are going back to Omaha 2nd straight year.
Tell you what, tip your hat to Lane Mestapes. What an outing from the left-hander. A kid who had surgery just a year ago, missed all of last year, missed part of this year. They weren't sure what they'd get out of him, and all he did is go out there and spin a beauty. A complete game shutout, his first shutout of the year. Now he will get a chance to pitch in Omaha. He watched last year, he will pitch there this year.
Great year for Texas A&M. They beat Rice in the regional. They come here. They get off to a great start last night, leading 5-0. They hang in there till the end, losing by 3. They fall 4-0 tonight, but it was close all the way to the ninth.
Absolutely nothing to hang their hats about. They played well yesterday, offensively played well yesterday, just didn't pitch quite as well. A great game from Zach Jackson today, but it just wasn't quite enough.
Final score, LSU 4, Texas A&M nothing. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Kyle Peterson, I'm Dave Pash. Let's go to Dave Revson.
In the first round of the College World Series. Once again, game time.
We're joined by Lane Mestapes, the winning pitcher in Game 2 of this Super Regional Series. Lane, congratulations. Did you know early that you were going to have a day where you were effective throughout?
Well, I just tried to go out there and hold their bats down until our guys scored some runs, because I knew I was going against a great pitcher in Jackson, and we pulled it through.
Wayne, it's been such an up and down last couple years. You missed last year. This year has been an up and down year for you after 2 great years, your freshman and sophomore year. How's it feel to have such a great outing in such a big game like this?
Oh, it feels great. I knew coming in it was going to be a long season, and I prepared myself for this, and I knew when it was time at the end of the season I'd pitch well.
A&M only got 1 runner to third base. That was in the first inning. How big was that defensive play by the offensive hero, Will Harris, at first base to grab that line out by Austin Boggs?
Oh, that was big. Our defense played great today and bailed me out a little bit, and and then Will came and hit the 3-run bomb.
You're going to pitch this year in Omaha. I see your left arm right now is a little bit dirty. What was it like at the bottom of that dog pile out there?
It was tough. It was tough.
Well, congratulations on the win, Lane. Good luck in Omaha.
Thank you.
Lane Mestapay, the winning pitcher in Game 2 for LSU, which is going to the College World Series for the 13th time.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.